Well, this is day one of my walk from Atherton. I've just left the A580 from Lowton and I'm heading towards Newton Le Willows, hoping to reach Chester by the end of today. I'm now on the A49. I've been walking for nearly 3 hours and I've come up to nearly 10 miles. Just left Newton Le Willows and I'm heading towards Winwick. Next stop, Warrington. I've just left Warrington, just past 30,000 steps, and it's just gone past 12:30. I'm now heading towards Dursbury. Well, I've just reached Dursbury. It's nearly 1:30. I've done over 17 miles. I can see Fiddler's Ferry power station and the Runcorn Bridge in the distance, and now I'm heading towards Frodsham. It's nearly 3 o'clock. I'm still on the A56 heading into Frodsham. I've done over 46,000 steps and nearly 22 miles. So just heading into Frodsham now, and then Helsby, about 12 miles from Chester. I'm approaching Helsby. I've been walking for over 7.5 hours and I've done just over 51,000 steps. After Helsby, I'm on to Chester. Well, this is day 2 of my walk. I'm walking alongside the River Dee in Chester. I'm leaving Chester, heading towards Chester races. Yesterday I did 34 miles, that's just over 74,000 steps. And as you can see, it's a much better day today, weather-wise. This is Chester Racecourse. Today I'm walking from Chester to Halkin, which is near Flint, North Wales. I'm going to walk along the River Dee, over the border from England into Wales, towards Connors Quay. Well, that's it. I've just crossed the border from England into Wales. I'm walking alongside the River Dee. In the distance I can see the hills of North Wales, still covered in snow. As you can see, I'm still walking alongside the River Dee, heading towards Connors Quay. I can see the power station in the distance and the bridge crossing over the River Dee. Well, I'm now walking along the Howardon Bridge over the River Dee, and I'm now about 4 miles from Flint. Well, I've just left Flint. I'm heading towards Helkin. I've been walking for over 5 hours and it's just gone 3 o'clock. Well, I'm getting close to Helkin and I've done 15 miles today. That's 49 miles from Atherton in 2 days. Tomorrow I'm hoping to walk it to Rhyl. I've done over 35,000 steps today. Well, that's it. I've now done 16 miles today. That's 50 miles from Atherton. As you can see behind me, you can see the power station at Connors Quay. I've not got far to go now, and I've been walking for nearly 6 hours. Well, as you can see, the weather has improved a lot. I'm high up on this hill, and in the distance you can see Connors Quay power station and the Queen's Ferry crossing and the Dee estuary and the Rhyl Peninsula. Well, this is day 3 of my walk. Today I'm walking from Helkin to Rhyl. Yesterday I did 16 miles, which means I've done 50 miles so far from Atherton. Well, that's it. I've done 3 miles today. So that means I am now the 6,000 mile poster. Well, to the left of me, in the distance, the hills are still covered in snow. On my right, over this hill, there's Liverpool, the Liverpool docks, Liverpool cathedrals, the River Mersey, and I'm walking through this village, and the sheep on the golf course. I wonder if they're playing a round of golf. Well, I've just left the Franciscan Friary at Pantisaf. I've been walking now for over 2 hours and I've done over 6.5 miles. In the distance you can see the Rhyl Peninsula, and even further on you can see the city of Liverpool. Well, I'm completely surrounded by hills as I walk alongside the A55 towards Prestatyn. There is the A55, and as you can see the hills in the distance, some have still got snow on top of them. Well, it started raining now. Just leaving Prestatyn now. Just reached 40,000 steps and I'm heading towards Rhyl. That should be another 3 miles. Well, here I am at Rhyl. I can see the the mountains of North Wales in front of me. I've done 21 miles today from Helkin. That's 71 miles from Atherton. And I've done just under 47,000 steps. Tomorrow I'm hoping to walk to Llandudno. My walk. Today I'm walking from Rhyl to Llandudno. Yesterday I ended up walking 23 miles. So that means that so far I've walked 73 miles from Atherton. Today I'm going to be walking all along the North Wales coast to Llandudno. I am now heading towards Abergele and Pensaern from Rhyl. I've been walking for an hour now. I've done over 2.5 miles. As you can see in the distance is Rhyl. I've been walking for an hour and a half. I've done 4 miles from Rhyl. I'm now approaching Abergele and Pensaern. it's 12 o'clock now, and I've just reached Abergele and Pensan train station. I've now walked 6 miles from Rhyl, and I'm about 5 miles from Colwyn Bay. It's hard to believe that those misty hills in the distance are where I've just walked from. I am now 3 miles from Colwyn Bay. Well, I've done over 7 miles from Rhyl. I'm about 3 miles from Colwyn Bay, and I've been walking for over 2.5 hours. I've done over 8 miles now. I'm about 2 miles from Colwyn Bay. Just see a rainbow there. What a sight! A full rainbow. But does a rainbow exist if there's no one here to see it? To me, it is a sign of God's promise. That's it, I've reached Colwyn Bay. I've done nearly 11 miles and I've been walking for over 4 hours. It's hard to believe that that hill in the distance is where I've walked from. I'm just passing Colwyn Bay railway station. I'm heading towards Ross-on-Sea and then on to Llandudno. We're 8 miles from Conway, which I'll be walking towards tomorrow. There's a lot of work going on here on the promenade at Ross-on-Sea. leaving Ross-on-Sea, heading towards Penryn Bay and Little Orme, and then on to Llandudno. So there's the Little Orme. I'm going to walk around that, heading towards the Great Orme and Llandudno. I'm now just 4 miles away from Llandudno. What an amazing experience. I've got the mountains and the hills to the left of me, and I've got the sea to the right of me, and up ahead is Little Orme. Here we are at Llandudno. As you can see in front of me, the pier and the Great Orme. It's taken me over 6 hours to get here from Rhyl, and I've walked over 16 miles. So that's 89 miles from Atherton. Well, that's 17 miles. I'm still walking. So that's 80 miles from Atherton. Well, you've guessed it, I'm still walking through the streets of Llandudno. I've done 18 miles, 40,000 steps, and it's nearly 5 o'clock. And I'm now heading towards the hotel. I've reached the hotel at Llandudno. I've done 18 miles today, so that's 81 miles from Atherton. This is day 5 of my walk. Today I'm walking from Llandudno to Bangor. Yesterday I did 19 miles, so I've now done 92 miles from Atherton. I'm now heading towards Conway. I'm now heading into Ganway. As you can see in front of me is Conway Castle. I've now done 4 miles walking from Llandudno to Conway and the castle. As you can see, I'm just leaving Conway Castle. I've just walked 6 miles. We're leaving Conway. In the distance you can see the Great Orme and Llandudno and the River Conway. been walking now for over 2.5 hours. It's a lovely day. Well, it's nearly midday on the 5th day of my walk, and I've now done 8 miles today, so that means I've done 100 miles from Atherton. Well, those are Great Orme and Llandudno in the distance where I've just walked in from today. In the distance you can see Anglesey. I'm now 11 miles from Bangor, 32 miles from Holyhead. A little bit of rain in the air now. Been quite a nice morning. Just walking alongside the beach here, heading towards Caernarvon. It's just gone midday. I've been walking for over 3 hours and I've done over 9 miles. Now 3 miles from Caernarvon. Well, I've always wanted my own cannon. I wonder if they'll deliver to Atherton from here. I'm now approaching Caernarvon. alongside the straight. In the far distance you can see the Great Orme and Llandudno, just to give you an idea of how far I've walked today so far. The weather's gone quite beautiful now as I'm walking along the Wales coast path alongside the Menai Strait, heading towards Bangor. It's nearly 2:30. I've done nearly 37,000 steps. I think I've just seen Beaumaris Castle. I think the castle that I saw earlier wasn't Beaumaris, I think it's Penryn. Steps, over 18 miles from Llandudno. Getting quite windy. This is day 6 of my walk. Today I'm walking to Caernarvon. I've walked over 117 miles from Atherton. I'm walking alongside the Menai. I've done over 7.5 miles from Bangor. Just enjoying this lovely cycle path all the way to Caernarvon. I've just been listening to one of those debates, and the debate is about whether Christians should accept theory of evolution. Obviously, looking at nature on the Darwinian explanation, it's nature red in tooth and claw. It's brutal. It's survival of the fittest. The thing what gets me is that whenever atheists, whenever they talk about God and nature, it's look at all the awful things that happen in nature with all the bloodshed. But yet, when they speak about evolution, nature is wonderful. Isn't that strange? When they say, when you put God there, it's nature's horrible, nature's brutal, nature's bloodthirsty. But when speaking about natural selection, nature's wonderful. Look at the beauty of nature, they say. I mean, science has that get-out clause in suggesting that your science is evolving. Our understanding is moving forward. So in that way, we never actually know the truth. We can never actually know at any point in time that we have the whole truth, because science is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. And it's arrogant, really, to say that they know the truth, that anyone who disagrees with them are lazy and ignorant, is completely disrespectful to all the many scientists and philosophers throughout the ages who actually believed in God. And to me, natural selection is not strong enough to explain the diversity of life on this earth. No one's doubting the existence of natural selection. But its creative abilities. See, the atheist likes to deny that it's based on chance. And yet we see chance is essential for evolution to move on, to move forward. Because where do the variations come from? Where do they appear? The different ecological niches that an animal, an organism finds itself in. The climate. All of these things are random. And the atheist will find any excuse to try and justify the belief or lack of belief in a creator, in a God, in purpose, because all of this has been made for a purpose. Atheism has to explain, atheism has to justify morality. And how do they justify morality? People do things in this life, and if atheism is true, they get away with it. People can do bad things in this life, and according to atheism, they'll get away with it. Once you're dead, you're dead. There's no judgment. There's no justice. I don't believe that. That to me would be a sick joke. People who've lost loved ones through the mindless acts of another. And you're telling me that there's going to be no justice. And they're happy about it. They're happy to argue for the cause of atheism. I've often wondered why people say that's karma. Because some people say it, and yet they only believe in what they can see. So how can karma exist? How can there be such a thing as karma? What is it? Who created it? Is it built into the universe? How does it know how to judge? How do we know it's judging correctly? I hear quite a lot from people who don't believe. They don't believe in any type of spirituality. They only believe in materialism. And yet they say that's karma when something happens. And they have a sense of justice that's taken place. I'm walking down here and I'm seeing evidence everywhere for God, including myself. I am evidence for God. You and me are evidence for God. I'm completely surrounded by the wonders of God. From the very small to the very big. To little seeds and nuts and berries. And you wonder why. If evolution is true, why did plants create seeds, nuts and berries, offering their abundance to other animals? How did the plants know? At what point do the plants suggest I'll create seeds, nuts and berries to entice other creatures? I mean, do the trees have consciousness? You can see purpose all around you. And purpose is evidence for God. Is evidence for a superior mind. Nothing is here by chance. It's all been created. And we human beings are the ones who possess the capacity to learn, to understand, to make sense of the world that would make complete nonsense if we weren't here. There'd be no sense at all. There is purpose everywhere. There is evidence for a mind at work, a superior mind who far surpasses our own. I mean, why is it so important to believe in evolution anyway? Why is that important? The reason why it's important to the atheists is because they want to justify their atheism. Because they want to say, this world created itself. All of this just happened, without any rhyme or reason. I mean, why does any of this matter? If you're dead, you're dead. There's no justice at the end of it. There's nothing at the end of it. So why is it so important to believe in evolution? Just to justify atheism? Nature doesn't care about us. Natural selection doesn't care about us. This is the atheistic worldview. for 3.5 hours. I've done 10 miles and I'm now reaching Caernarvon. So getting back to Karma, when people say that's karma, they must believe, they must have a sense of justice. But why, while we are his animals? Where does that sense of justice come from? See, the God of the Old Testament is a God who judges. The God in the New Testament is a God who shows mercy and love. But they are the same God. I mean, yes, in the Old Testament we have little hints of that, of the mercy of God. But God desires mercy and not sacrifice. God desires justice for the poor, for the widow. It is the same God. And that's why we have that sense of justice. But we have a God who is merciful, who gave his Son to die on the cross. For our sins. So we have a God who judges, who will judge sin. But we have a God who offers hope in mercy and love and forgiveness. That is beautiful. That is hopeful. So how can atheism beat that? How can atheism be better than that? Why people attack Christianity and yet embrace atheism and agnosticism, a belief that offers no hope, no mercy, no justice.